Good afternoon students, welcome back to online classes of VLSI design. I hope you are all doing well. In this last class and this class has got a lot of gap due to rains and due to your supply examinations. I hope you are all doing well in your supply examinations. We have two parts in your first chapter. Part A was completely about the fabrication process, where we have seen the fabrication of NMOS transistor, PMOS transistor as well as CMOS transistor, right? So we have also seen the manufacturing process of an IC, what are the steps that we are going for manufacturing process, and we have seen the CMOS fabrication in three process, like N-well process, P-well process and twin tub process. Okay, and in the second part we have seen about the basic electrical properties of your MOS transistors or the MOS circuits. In that, the first topic we have discussed that in the last class was about your IDS and VDS relationship, means drain to source current versus voltage, correct? So the relationship between your IDS and VDS relationship we have seen both in your saturation as well as the non-saturation region. Okay, that was in your last class. I'll give the link of that last class also in today's class. Please go through that classes and do practice well. That is very, very important. In the first chapter, the very important questions that are coming for your long answers for the final examinations are about your fabrication process. Either it may be for N-well, P-well or a twin tub process for your CMOS fabrication, and as well as for N or PMOS fabrication. That is the one important one. And the second one is about IDS and VDS relationship. That is very, very important. Both we can expect for long answers. Okay, so in today's class we are going to see about your NMOS inverter. I know you all know what is inverter. Without inverter the logic gates are incomplete, yes or no? So what due to that inverter only we can prepare a range of logic gates. Yes, if you go for the logic gates, what you are having, what the first thing that comes into the mind, that is your AND gate, OR gate and NOR gate. So inverter is nothing but your NOR gate. If you are not having the NOR gate, then you won't get the complete range of your logic gates, right? So if suppose consider if there is no if you are not having a NOR gate or a inverter, then what the basic logic gates you are getting? Only two, that is and OR. You won't be able for getting your XOR gates or NOR gates or NAND gates, true? So that's the reason we are going for the NMOS inverter. So an inverter circuit is very important circuit for producing a complete range of logic circuit. Yes or no, ma? So without inverter your logic circuits or the logical circuits range is incomplete. Without inverter we just be able to get only two logic gates, either AND or OR. Rather than that we won't be able to find out NOR gates, NAND gate, XOR gates, right? So that is the important circuit for producing a complete range of logic circuits is your inverter. Then one more example or the one more definition for that is the basic requirement for producing a complete range of logic circuit is called as your inverter. So this is needed for restoring logic levels for NAND and NOR gates, and for sequential and memory circuits also you require this, and for various different forms you will be using this NOR gates. Okay, this was the definition or the intro about your NOR gate. So the gate which you are using preparing is your NMOS inverter, nothing but your inverter. So this is the circuit. I hope you remember this NOR gate circuit, right? If you give 1, you will be getting 0 as output. If you give 0, you will be getting 1 as output, the opposite one. Okay, so we are having the simple inverter circuit that is shown in the figure. The basic inverter circuit which I am showing over here is this one. The simple inverter circuit can be constructed by using a transistor with a source connected to the ground. The source is connected to the ground and a load resistor is to be used here. Okay, if we are having an inverter, by how we are preparing that one? By using a simple transistor whose source, means here gate, drain and source. This is one type of inverter. In the next slide I will show how actual figure will be there. So this is one inverter, and one more thing how we are preparing by using a load resistor. Simply how you can prepare a NMOS inverter, you just need a transistor and a load resistor. The transistor source is connected to the ground and the load resistor is which is connected to your source, drain. Okay, this is how you will be connecting. So the transistor with the source connected to the ground, and a load resistor which is connected from drain to the positive rail of your VDD. VDD is nothing but your voltage. Okay, the supply voltage or the supply current from where you will be getting this. So the output is taken from the drain. This is source, gate, source and drain, and how from where you are getting the output from this part. So this is the output V0. The output is taken from the drain and the input is applied between the gate and the ground. Where you are going to apply the input, ma? Over here. Here you are going to apply the input. So what is the basic requirement for preparing a simple inverter is you require a transistor and a load resistor. Transistor should be kept downwards, means its source should be connected to the ground, and the drain should be connected to the load resistance through which it is connected to the power positive supply of your VDD or the positive supply rail, that is VDD. And the output from where you are getting, the output is you are getting it from drain, and the input is given to the gate of your transistor, gate terminal of the transistor. Correct? So this is the circuit. See what I have said, we require a transistor. Now see the reason why we are going for another transistor. But during the fabrication process, resistors are conveniently produced on the silicon substrate, and even small values of resistors occupy excessive large areas. So what we are doing in an IC, we are fabricating all transistors on a single chip. Yes or no? So we are all dumping on fabricating all the transistor, resistors, everything on a single chip. But the reason why you are not using a resistor or load resistor here is that it is very easy to take up a resistor and but it takes a larger value. It occupies the larger area on your IC. So that's the reason we are not using a load resistor here, and hence what you are doing, some other form of load resistor is used, a more convenient way to solve this problem. And that is why what you are using, we are using a depletion mode transistor as a load resistor. So what you are doing, see in the last picture we used a transistor and a load resistor, because this load resistor takes or occupies the larger area on your IC, right? So that's the reason what we are doing to solve this problem, we are fabricating a transistor which is in the depletion mode as a load resistor. I hope you are clear why we are using the one more transistor of depletion mode. Whenever you are having this thick line over here, this is the depletion mode transistor, this is your enhancement mode transistor. Okay, now remember back what I have said. So load resistor is connected to the positive rail of your VDD, it is connected to VDD. Output we are taking from the drain, here it is the output, and to the gate we are applying the input voltage, and the source is connected to the ground. This is gate, drain and source. This is gate and this is drain, and the last one is your source. I hope you are clear, and this is the basic figure or the diagram of your NMOS inverter. You may expect this question for 2 marks for your final examinations. I repeat once again, during the fabrication of the resistors which are not conveniently produced on the silicon substrate, so even small values of the resistors occupy excessive large areas. This we are having the difficulty. So what we are having, so instead of that one we are using a depletion mode transistor as a load resistor. So this is the figure of your NMOS inverter where 2 transistors are connected. One is in depletion mode, another obviously is in enhancement mode. From the drain of your transistor you will be getting the output, and from the gate terminal you will be giving the input voltage. Now see the features of your NMOS inverter. Okay, what you are having the features. If no current is drawn from the output, then the current IDS for both the transistors must be equal. Suppose if you are having no current, there is no current which is drawing from the output, you are not getting any current at the output side, that means the same current is in your both transistor, that is in depletion mode and enhancement mode transistor. That is first one. Second one, for depletion mode transistor, the gate is connected to the source, so it is always on. So what you are having, ma? See here, the source part of your depletion mode transistor is here. It is connected to, where it is connecting? It is connected to the source, so it is always on. So the part depletion mode, this part will be always on. Okay, so this is how you will be getting. This is the second feature for the depletion mode transistor. The gate is connected to the source. Okay, this one, sorry, this, the gate is the part, see, this transistor, this is gate, this is drain, and this is source. This gate is connected to the source. So in depletion mode transistor, the gate is connected to the source, so it is always on, and the only characteristic curves is VGS is equals to 0. That will be relevant over here. Okay, that is the second feature of this one. And the third feature is, in this configuration, the depletion mode device is called as pull-up transistor. Do remember this one. The device which is in depletion mode is called as your pull-up transistor, and the device which is in enhancement mode is called as your pull-down transistor. This one. See, this is your pull-up. This is the upper part. This is the depletion mode transistor. The depletion mode transistor is called as your pull-up transistor. This is pulling up. This is pull-up transistor, and the transistor which is in enhancement mode is called as your pull-down transistor. Clear? I hope you are clear with this one. These are the features of your silent features of your NMOS inverter. Now see the NMOS inverter transfer characteristics. To get the characteristics, what are the basic requirements? What first once again we'll see what are silent features. If no current is drawn from the output, then IDS will be same for the both the transistors. Means in your which transistors? Pull up and pull down transistors, right? For the depletion mode transistor, the upper transistor, the gate is connected to the source, so that transistor, depletion mode transistor, will be always on. That is the second feature. And the third feature is the configuration is the depletion mode transistor is called as your pull-up transistor, and the enhancement mode device or the enhancement mode transistor is called as your pull-down transistor. These are the features of your NMOS inverter. Now if you see the transfer characteristics, how we will be getting this transfer characteristics, how you are going to determine this. As to determine this transfer characteristics of your NMOS inverter, we have to superimpose the depletion mode characteristics to the enhancement mode characteristics. You know what is the depletion mode and what is the enhancement mode characteristics that you have studied in your BE in the last semesters. So the transfer characteristics is drawn by VDS on x-axis. How you are going to draw that one? By VDS on the x-axis and IDS on the y-axis for both your enhancement mode transistor as well as your depletion mode transistor. So as to obtain these inverter characteristics, what we have to do, the first condition for it starts from VGS is equals to 0 for depletion mode characteristic curve, that has to be superimposed on the family of curves of your enhancement mode device. Means you will be getting different characteristics for both enhancement mode transistor and depletion mode transistor. As to get the transfer characteristics of your NMOS inverter, you have to superimpose the depletion mode transistor characteristics on the family of curves of your enhancement mode transistor device. Okay, complete all, you will be having a family of curves of your enhancement mode. On that one you have to superimpose the depletion mode characteristics. That is how then you will be obtaining your NMOS inverter transfer characteristics. Okay, ma'am? So the graph, it can be seen that maximum voltage across the enhancement mode device corresponds to minimum voltage across the depletion mode device. What does it mean? So wherever you are having the maximum voltage in enhancement mode, at that point the voltage in your depletion mode will be minimum. Okay, that is the important note. You have to remember that the maximum voltage across your enhancement mode corresponds to the minimum voltage across your depletion mode. See these characteristics, what I have said, VDS is on your x-axis, IDS is on your y-axis, and these figures are nothing but these are the family curves of your enhancement mode. And these the curve which is superimposed on this is your depletion mode characteristic, which is superimposed on the family curves of your enhancement mode characteristics. Okay, the maximum voltage of your enhancement mode devices corresponds to the minimum voltage which is across your depletion mode device. If you consider here, see here you are having the maximum voltage of your enhancement mode device, right? These are your enhancement mode characteristic curves. Here you are having the maximum voltage, but where if you see the depletion mode characteristics, it is the minimum. Yes or no? So the maximum voltage across enhancement mode, it corresponds where at the minimum voltage of your depletion mode characteristics. And whenever you are having this these points are connected at particular voltage, they both are depletion mode and enhancement mode characteristic, they both meet at some particular point, and that point is called as your contact point. Clear? So from this graph, at V in is equals to VGS as pull down transistor exceeds the pull down threshold voltage, and the current flows to flow, or the current begins to flow. It starts flowing when your V in value means V input is equals to VGS. VGS at pull down, the down transistor. Remember this one, this part. Okay, this part. The VGS is equals to V in. When VGS is equals to V in, then at that point the current starts to flow. The output voltage V out thus decreases, and the subsequent increase in Vn will cause the pull down transistor to come out of the saturation region, and that at that point it becomes resistive. Okay, at that particular point what happens here, output voltage is equals to input voltage, and the output obtained is called as your, or the output voltage which is obtained is known as your inverse voltage. So at that point your V out is equals to V in is equals to V inverse, that is nothing but your inverse voltage. I'll repeat it once again. In this graph, what you have, V in is equals to VGS. When your V in, the input voltage is equals to VGS over here, it exceeds the pull down threshold voltage. For every transistor there will be some threshold voltage. So what happens in the downside, or the downer transistor will be crossing the threshold voltage, and if it is crossing the threshold voltage, or it is exceeding the threshold voltage, the current starts flowing. Okay, if the current starts flowing, the output voltage, what happens, it starts decreasing, and the subsequent increase in input voltage starts. Okay, input voltage will be increased, and that will be causing your pull down transistor to come out of your saturation region, and that transistor becomes now resistive. At that point what happens, your input voltage is equals to output voltage, and that voltage is known as your inverse voltage. So V out is equals to V in is equals to V inverse. Okay, I hope you are clear with this one. Next, see, determine, now we have to see how you are going to determination of your pull down to pull up ratio. You have to see the pull up to pull down ratio for an NMOS inverter which is driven by another NMOS inverter. Okay, you might be getting a question, determine the pull up to pull down ratio of an NMOS inverter when it is driven by another NMOS inverter. This is your NMOS inverter. This was the topic of your NMOS inverter, where you have seen the definition of NMOS inverter. Okay, what is the requirement for your preparation of NMOS inverter? You require a transistor and a load resistor. Because load resistor is not conveniently produced, it is difficult to produce a load resistor, and it also occupies the larger area on the chip. So that's the reason we are using one more transistor, but that too in the depletion mode. And what are the characteristic features that we are saying? No current flow is drawn from the output, then your IDS for the both transistors are equal. This is the feature that we have seen in the characteristics also. Yes or no? So when there is no current drawn, then your both the transistor must be, the current which are passing from both the transistors must be equal. Depletion mode transistor, the gate is connected to the source, so it is always on, and the depletion mode device is called as your pull up, and enhanced mode device is called as your pull down. And these are the transfer characteristics of that one. Now this is the topic of your NMOS inverter. Now what you have to determine, if you are determining, you have to determining the pull up and pull down ratio for your NMOS inverter which is driven by one more NMOS inverter. So I have told about the characteristics and features of your one NMOS inverter. If this NMOS inverter is driven by one more NMOS inverter, what will be the pull up to pull down ratio that you have to determine? This is also important question. This you also might expect this for 5 marks question. Okay. So let us consider the arrangement which is shown over here. Here what you are having, an inverter is driven from the output of another inverter, means the output of this inverter is given as the input for your next inverter. Yes. If I give an example, if I give a 0 over here, what is the output I will be getting here? 1. 1 will be the input for this second inverter, and the output will be your 0. So this is how you are giving the interconnecting the two NMOS inverters, means one inverter is driven by another NMOS inverter. So consider the depletion mode transistor for VGS is equals to 0 under all conditions. So first what you are considering, VGS is equals to 0. Gate to source, the upper depletion mode, the upper side of transistor. Just imagine that upper side of transistor where your VGS is equals to 0. Means in the all conditions. So what happens here, V in is equals to V out is equals to V inverse. This is a condition that we have obtained from the characteristics of your NMOS inverter. Correct? Now see, for the equal margins around the inverter of the threshold, we set V inverse is equals to 0.5 VDD. What I am doing, I am setting the threshold voltage at your 0.5 VDD. At this point, what happens, both the transistors are in saturation region. Okay, what happens whenever you are having setting the equal margins and equal threshold is all set, so your transistors are in saturation region. Go back to the IDS and VDS relationship, your derivation part of your last class. I'll give the link above here. Just see that figure where you will be getting IDS VDS relationship for saturation region. You get IDS is equals to K into W by L into VGS minus VT whole square divided by 2. This is the formula. This we have got from the relationship of your IDS and VDS characteristics. Okay. So in depletion mode, IDS is equals to K into W pull up divided by L PU. This is nothing but pull up transistor. This is pull down transistor. Okay. Minus VTD whole square divided by 2. Why? Because in transistor what we are considering, in equal margins I am considering, and VGS is equals to 0, as in the consider the depletion mode transistor for which the condition is VGS is equals to 0 for all the conditions, means either it may be in saturation region or either it may be in non-saturation region. For all conditions I am giving VGS is equals to 0 and setting the inverse voltage as 0.5 VDD. And both, as I have said, they both are in saturation region. You go back to that relationship, IDS is equals to K into W by L. W is nothing but width of the channel and L is length of the channel. VGS minus VT whole square divided by 2. As I have said, VGS is equals to 0. This is a pull up transistor. The depletion mode transistor is called as your pull up transistor, right? So that pull up transistor I am considering. So WPU divided by LPU into, as VGS is equals to 0 minus VTD whole square divided by 2. This is in depletion mode. When go back to your enhancement mode, what you are having, IDS is equals to K into WPD. Enhancement mode transistor is called as your pull down transistor. I have told already in this class. So K into W width divided by length of that one, WPD by LPD into V inverse minus VT whole square divided by 2, because V inverse is equals to V in is equals to V output for this one. So VGS is equals to V inverse we are considering in the enhancement mode. So that is why we are giving it as V inverse minus VT whole square divided by 2. So this is the depletion mode IDS value and this is enhancement mode IDS value. Now equate these two equations. You have to equate these two equations and you have to get the value. What I am equating, can I cancel the K value over here? I will be cancelling this K value and this K value. So what is the answer that I will be getting? WPD divided by LPD into V inverse minus VT whole square. This by divided by 2 is also getting cancelled. Okay, whole square is equals to PU divided by LPU into minus VTD whole square. Please do the calculations so that it will be easy. I am able to do over here. I can't write over here, or else I would have shown you. Please do the calculations. You have to equate, give the equation values also in your notes. Then you equate this, both the equations, they cancel the k values, as well as you can cancel your 2 value, okay, denominator value. Then this is the output equation that you will be getting: WPD into LP divided by LPD into V inverse minus VT whole square is equals to WPU divided by LPU into minus VTD whole square. Okay, where WPD, LPD and WPU, LPU are the widths and the lengths of the pull-up and pull-down transistors respectively. As I have already said, correct, width and the length of your pull-up transistor, width and length of your pull-down transistor, and that is nothing but the channel that from where your current will be flowing from source to drain. Okay, so width and length of your pull-up and pull-down transistors respectively. And this one, and what I am doing, I am giving it a variable LPD by WPD, what I am giving it as ZPD, and LPU by WPU I am giving as ZPU. Here what you are having, W by L. Now what I am considering, L by W. L by W is nothing but Z. I am giving a constant or a variable, something I am assigning to that one. And this PD is nothing for pull down transistor. I am giving a equation, giving a deterministic value as ZPD. And for this one, pull down up transistor, I am giving it value as ZPU. Okay. Now this equation, we can substitute the value over in this equation. This is W by L. I have given L by W is equals to Z. So what I will be getting? 1 by Z, and this is for the pull down transistor, so 1 by ZPD. So I am writing the same over here. We have 1 by ZPD into V inverse minus VT whole square, that is equals to 1 by ZPU. Yes or no, ma? The inverse value you have to write. 1 by ZPU into minus VTD whole square. Now substitute the typical values. These are the typical values for your voltage. Okay, so now we are using the VDD value which we are using for the VLSI is your 0.5 or 0.7, something like that, not more than that one. So these are the values, typical values that we will be using for your VT, V inverse and VDD. These values you have to remember. So the VT or the threshold voltage is given as 0.2 VDD. Okay, one more threshold voltage, that is equals to minus 0.6 VDD for all the, and we have given as V inverse is equals to 0.5 VDD for equal margins. Here I have said no, in this one we are setting inverse value for 0.5 VDD, that is nothing but the inverse voltage and inverse threshold I am setting it for 0.5 VDD, and the threshold voltage I am giving it as 0.2 VDD, and the TD value threshold in depletion mode is given as 0.6 VDD. If there is no equation, no values given in the question, if the examiner asks in the question paper, then you have to consider these typical values. In case he is giving the values, okay, in some of the examination they might be giving the values for VT, V inverse and VTD also, then you have to substitute that values, but mostly they won't give. You have to get the ratio. They'll just ask the question for the ratio itself. Then at that time you have to consider these typical values as threshold voltage VT is equals to 0.2 VDD, inverse threshold voltage 0.5 VDD, and the VTD is equals to minus 0.6 VDD. Now substitute these values in this above equation. Okay, 1 by ZPD inverse, what you are having, 0. VDD 5 VDD minus 0.2 VDD is equals to 1 by ZPU. What is this one? We minus VTD, how much we are having? Minus 0.6 VDD. Substitute these equations. Okay, then you will be getting this answer. You have to substitute and you have to calculate now. Please do calculate. Okay, then you will be getting 0.5 is equals to 0.2 plus 0.6 divided by under root of, means you are moving your ZPU value over here as it is having the square. You will be solving this one equation, then will be getting a square root over there. So hence at last you will be getting the answer as square root of ZPU divided by ZPD, that is equals to 2. I am again multiplying or the squaring with both sides, then I will be getting as ZPU divided by ZPD is equals to 4 by 1. Means the ratio is, as what you have said, we have to get the ratio for pull up to pull down transistor for the inverter directly divided by another inverter. So always remember, if the examiner asks the question derive the expression or the what is the ratio for pull up to pull down transistor of an inverter which is directly or driven by one other transistor, another inverter, then the ratio will be 4/1 or 4:1. This is the ratio you have to get. This is the compulsory question and this is the answer you should getting or you should be getting. Okay, ma'am? This is how I have complete notes with all solutions. Afterwards I will be posting in your groups also after making the PDF. There you can clearly get all the calculations. I have calculated everything clearly over there. I will be giving the notes also. So this is how you will be getting the ratio for the pull up to pull down transistor when the inverter is directly driven by one more inverter. I hope you are clear with today's topic. Okay, in case of any doubts, please do let me know, and you have to practice. Okay, I'll be giving the link of the last class also, where you will be having the IDS and VDS relationship, from where we have taken the saturation region formula for IDS. Okay, I'll quickly revise what is an NMOS inverter. It is a basic requirement for getting all range of logic circuits. Without inverter you won't be able to get these logic circuits, correct? So as to prepare this NMOS inverter, what is the requirement? You require a transistor and a load resistor, but it is inconvenient to prepare a load resistor or a fabricated load resistor on the chip. Plus one more disadvantage is that it will be consuming or it will be occupying lots of space. It takes more area to fabricate on a chip. So as to remove that disadvantage, what we are replacing one more transistor in depletion mode. Means a depletion mode transistor has to be kept in place of your load resistor. So that is how you will be getting. Then you have to go for your transfer characteristics. How we are getting the transfer characteristics for your NMOS inverter? Just superimposing the depletion mode transfer characteristics on the family curves of your enhancement mode transistor. That is how you will be getting. Okay, that was about your NMOS inverter characteristic features and the characteristics. Then if you next topic was about your ratio to find out the pull up to pull down ratio for one NMOS inverter driven by another NMOS inverter. Remember this topic. Okay, determination of pull up to pull down ratio for an NMOS inverter driven by another NMOS inverter, and the ratio is 4:1 or 4/1. ZPU divided by ZPD is equals to 4 divided by 1. PU is pull up transistor. Pull up transistor is in depletion mode transistor is called as pull up transistor. Enhancement mode transistor is called as your pull down transistor. Okay, so ZPU divided by ZPD is equals to 4 divided by 1. That is ratio of your two inverters when they are driven back to back directly. I hope you are clear with this topic. We'll end today's class up to here. Okay, ma'am? Thank you.